Hello and welcome to Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits Reviews. Not a review today, but part one of probably 3 or 4 parts of the beers that are going to be on offer at this year's Robin Hood Beer Festival. So, they're saying there's going to be 850 beers plus another 200 in reserve. So that's 1,050 beers. Wow. So the main area, it's called Beers on Ice and Bar A. So I'll go through, pick out the interesting ones, which will probably be a lot actually. So from the 1648 brewery, they've got Le Blonde 4%, Laughing Frog, aroma, which is a 5%, aroma of French hedgerows. That's what they taste, smell nice. Reserve Royal Britannia 3.9%. Then there's Free Threads at 4.3%, a pale, a mild and an old all-in-one ale. Very interesting. Next one, Winter Solstice, dark and smoky with a hint of ginger at 4.3%. From the 360 Degrees brewery, a reserve of Blood Orange at 4.9%, a New Zealand Pale at 3.5%. From 4T's brewery, Busman's Bitter, Amber Bitter 3.9%, a reserve of Hop Monster Series 6, 3.8%, a single hop brew using Olicana hop. They've also got Mango Fever at 4.6%, Indian Pale Ale with a bit of mango. Squirrel's Heaven, this is interesting, 4.8%, it's a peanut butter stout, nutty and smooth. That does sound Next one on the list, Abstract Jungle from Langley Mill in Derbyshire, so local ale. They've got a best bitter 3.9%, Easy American Brown, which is a 4.4%, biscuit, caramel and chocolatey notes with Cascade flavours. Ice 5.6%, an IPA, Magnum hops for bittering, Citra and Mosaic for flavour. A Jackal 4.2%, a vegan offering, traditional porter with 4 different malts. And then they've got Pride at 3.9%, a pale session bitter utilising German American hops. Next on the list, Restless at 4.5%, hop bitter with bags of Simcoe and Amarillo hops. Next up, AJ's Brewing, Devil Made Me Do It, black IPA, hopped with an American Summit and Green Bullet at 5.2%. Hot Pot 3.8%, a session pale ale brewed with Australian hops. Next on the list, Old Walk Artisan Ales from Derbyshire. Old Walk Pale at 4.8%, doesn't really say anything. Alexa Gold Session Ale 3.9%. Nostrum Amber 3.7%, Amber Session. A Reserve, which doesn't say anything, porter with added sloes. That sounds interesting, but there's no other info. And they've got a porter with added honey, but no other info. So, Alchemy from Edinburgh. Should it be Alchemy? Five Sisters, 4.3%. That's the best bitter. Bad Day at the Office, 4.5%. That's a pale session IPA. Here's an interesting one. Bring Out the Imp, 10.5%. So you wouldn't want many of them before you're on your back. That'll definitely be for a third of a pint. You're looking at definitely free tickets for that, tokens rather. That's an Imperial Stout aged in red wine casks. Wow, definitely want to try that. That's the first definite on my list. They've got Charisma 3.7%, hop session bitter. Photon at 4.3%, session IPA. Secret Citra at 5%, pale IPA with Vic Secret and Citra hops. Next one, Smoke in Your Rye, 5.6% smoked red rye beer, and a reserve of Summer Session 3.7%, session IPA. Allendale from Northumberland, a pale ale 4.7%. That's a gluten free. Basically, what it says on gluten free pale ale with fruity flavours. They've got Zephyr at 5.6%, a big IPA with tropical mango and passion fruit flowers. Alpha Beta Brewery, Honey and herb, 4.8%. Amber ale, honey aroma, green herbs and Fuggles bitterness. Next one, Rausch beer at 4.3%. Beach smoked malt, cold fermented, clean light finish. Anarchy Brewery. They've got Blonde Star 4.1%, a blonde session ale. They've got Guzzolene at 5.4%, a session IPA, mango, lychee, guava and passion fruit notes. There's the Angel Brewhouse in Nottingham, and I've never heard of them. Local ale, obviously. O'Reilly. It's a rye ale, 4.8%. They've got a reserve called Mash It Up, pale ale, 3.8%. Pale Angel, 4.2%, a pale ale with Cascade and Chinook hops. They've got Yippee-Yay-Ya at 5.4%, with an American IPA packed with Centennial hops. They've got Angle, next is the Angles Brewery. They've got Happy Paranoids, 4%, a pale old Scotch bitter. On reserve, they've got Necromancer at 5.5%, a strong pale ale. And a more interesting one for me, Sawtree Sasquatch at 7.4% strength, a strong stout. Doesn't really say the flavour. So, from the Anthology Brewery, an extra hopped session pale, 3.6%. Hop forward, juicy cask beer, easy drinking, full of flavour. And they've got a pale ale as well at 4%. Artisan Brewery, they've got a tasty pale ale, 4.9%. A light American pale at 3.6%. The names are just letters, so I don't know what they're doing there. And they've got a stout at 4.5%. Arundel Brewery, Black Stallion at 3.7%. Dark, lightly sweet, lightly hopped. Stronghold 4.7%. A chestnut premium bitter. Ashton Brewery, they've got Ashton Pale ale, 4.5% from a new brewery. Atlantic, I've got Earl Grey Pale. Interesting. This is a 4.5%, a pale ale blended with aromatic Earl Grey tea. Interesting, let's have a sample of that. They've also got Zingiber, 5.5%, which is a real ginger beer with root ginger and red chilies. That's a definite, another definite for my list. I'll try and find it later, write it down. From the Aurora Brewery in Ilkeston, not far away. Dorado 3.6, that's an American session pale ale. Eclipse 4.2%, that's a dark stout. 4.2%, yeah. Solar Storm at 4.5%, an American pale ale. So from Avid Brewery in Lancaster, it just says IPA at 5% with resin hop flavours. New Zealand Pale at 4%. That's brewed with a Nelson Savin hop from New Zealand. Here's another interesting one for me. Whiskey Vanilla Stout, 7.4%, so good strength. A well balanced stout with added vanilla to soften the finish. That sounds lovely. From Axone Brewery, you've got Cleethorpes Pale Ale. A refreshing pale ale with added sea buckthorn berries, 4.2%. From the Backyard Brewhouse, Blonde, 4.1%, so it's a platinum blonde bitter. They've got IPA again. Why don't they come out with interesting names, eh? IPA. 5% that is. Rich gold and intense floral herbal smell. So, Baker's Dozen, which is from a local ale from Rutland. I won't describe Rutland as local. I would Ilkeston, but not Rutland. You've got Electric Landlady, 5%. Hoppy IPA. You've got Magic Potion, 12, 3.8%, with Chinook Sriracha hops. Stamford Pale, which is a fruity pale ale at 4%. The Big Twig, 5.5%, it's a hoppy IPA. From the Beertown Brewery, you've got Wodgetech. Wodgetech, I've heard that before in one of the beer festivals. 5.8%, golden ale, fragrant hop aromas, smooth malty character. And then from the Beatniks Republic, a Kentucky Rye at 5%, a Kentucky Stout. That sounds interesting. So, they've got a load of USA beers. So you've got, from the Banded Horn Brewery, this is on reserve, it's Green Warden, 5.6%. It's a spruce ale aged in a gin cask. From the Kushnot Brewery, You've got Sturgeon Fox, 5.8%. So it's a pale ale aged in a rye cask. From the Dorigo Brewery, you've got Black Lager, a dark lager aged in a maple syrup cask. You can see where all these are going, can't you? Aged in different casks. From the Four River Brewery, you've got John Henry, 5.2%. A milk stout aged in Dad's Hat rye cask. You've got from the Funky Bow Brewery, you've got Kolsch, 6.5%. Kolsch aged in Dad's hot rye cask. From the Geary Brewery, you've got, this is a pale ale, 5.2%, aged in the bourbon cask. From Hidden Cove Brewery, you've got an Imperial Porter, 8.5%, that sounds nice, aged in the bourbon cask. From the Moderation Brewery, you've got Box Shop Gale Stout, 6.1%, and that's a bourbon. Just says bourbon. From the Rising Tide Brewery, you've got on reserve Mockingfish, which is a seawater gose aged in a tequila cask, 3.9%. And you've also got Nikita. You know where this is going, Nikita. A Russian Imperial Stout, 9.8%. A Russian Imperial Stout aged in a journeyman rye cask. And last on this particular area, this is Bar A, the main bar, Urban Farm Fermentory. On reserve, they've got rye amber ale at 5%, aged in a journeyman rye cask, and they've also got semi-sweet mead, aged in a rum cask, 10%. Ooh, might have to have a dabble on that. So that's all the Bar A beers, and that's only 68 so far. Is it 68? Is that all there is? Yeah, that's 68. So we'll do Bar B. Wary of the time, 12 minutes in, I don't want to make it too long. So from the Beatniks Republic, Pomona Island, this is in Manchester, Ooh Friend, 4.4%, Northwest Pale Collaboration Brew. From the Beer Brothers, they've got on reserve, they've got Gold, 3.8%, Gold Ale, hints of caramel, smooth bitterness. Same place, Milk Stout at 4.2%, dark sweet and creamy, dark roasted barley bitterness. Then they've got True Brit, 3.8%, traditional best bitter with malty session ale. So Beer Mats, a brewery in Nantes, which is surprisingly not considered local. Charismatic, amber session ale, vegan, 3.8%. Diplomat, 4.6%, a black smooth stout with spicy chocolate notes. They've on reserve, they've got Helmut Schmacker, 4.4%, a rustic tan coloured, multi flavours, fruity finish. Next on the list, Matadors, 5.1%, a ruby red IPA, aromatic, hoppy, intense tropical fruit notes. Next on the list, Golden, from Bell Street Brewery, Golden Red Classic English Beer, and that's all it says. Next brewery, Belvoir, I can never pronounce that word. Another local brewery, Beaver Bitter, 4.3%, a chestnut malty beer. You've got Dark Horse at 3.4%, which is a full body classic dark mild. On reserve, Green and Gold, a golden beer with green hops straight from the vine. Then they've got Oatmeal Stout at 4.3%, creamy smooth stout. Then they've got Old Dalby, which is a rich, full flavoured ruby red. Star Bitter, 3.9%, golden amber with a crisp dry flavour. At 80 on the 81, they've got Triumph, 4.7%, rich chestnut coloured beer. On reserve, they've also got Whippling Golden Bitter, 3.6%. Just says it's crisp and refreshing, really. From the Bexar County Brewery. Last time I did this, I dropped a full pint on Untapped. It's 5.3% vegan beer. Cask condition Cucumber Gose. So it's a salty sour wheat beer. Orange Wheat, another vegan beer, 5.6%. Vibrant Orange Wheat beer, tastes like a beer mimosa, whatever that is. Where Have You Been All My Life, 7.4%. This is a Vanilla Bean, another vegan one. Vanilla Bean, Tonka bean and coffee bean stouts. That's interesting, slightly anyway. From the Bexley Brewery, Old Mill 4.5%. It's a dark autumn ale, chestnut bitter. Red House 4.2%, which is rich ruby ale. Big Clock Blonde Ambition 4.2% from the Big Clock Brewery. Blonde Ambition 4.2%, a golden ale. Honey Stout at 5%, award-winning stout, low bitterness, hint of honey. On reserve, Zeus 5.5%, a premium golden ale, strong and very smooth. The Billericay Brewery, Billericay Dicky, 4.2%, amber ale, biscuit notes. On reserve, Grasshopper 4.1%, green hopped golden ale. Zeppelin at 3.8%, easy drinking session ale with slightly smoky notes. From the Birmingham Brewing Company, Fruity Brummy 4%, a mango pale ale. Strong Brummy 7%, a double IPA. From the Bishop Nick Brewery, 1555, and it's 4.3%, a tawny beer with a sweet nutty taste. Hearsay 4%, pale ale, citrus notes. From the Black Lodge Brewery, Why the Lightning 7%, a strong Y IPA. From the Blackjack Brewery, one I'm interested in here, there's a Black Forest 4.6%, a cherry stout, very interested in that. On reserve, Euchre 3.9%, a pale ale with Eureka hops. Next, Schafkopf at 5%, a German wheat beer with added ginger and lemongrass. From the Black Pit Brewery, Cloud 9 3.9%, just says into bitterness, grapefruit notes. Harvest Moon 4.1%, new limited edition beer. Loosehead 4.2%, mid to light brown, caramel, citrus and floral notes. From the Bluestone Brewery in Wales, Elderflower Blonde 4%, straw coloured blonde ale with hints of elderflower. Rockhopper 3.9%, pale amber bitter with a light malt base and spicy fruitiness. Boss Brewing Company, Boss Black 5%, a roasted coffee and warm dark chocolate tasting dark ale. That sounds nice. Box Social Brewery, Hybrid Fairy 3.5%, oatmeal pale. On reserve, MXPA at 4.5%, melon extra pale. From the Brass Castle Brewery, Bad Kitty 5.5%, chewy chocolate vanilla porter. Ginger Marmalade 4.5%, amber ale, fiery ginger and orange notes. That sounds interesting to me. Optical Illusion gluten-free IPA brewed with the African grain sorghum. Juniper 4.9%, a Kolsch infused with botanicals, juniper, lemon, coriander, like a gin beer basically. Never Testing 3.9%, a straight up bitter brewed with Summit hops. Quench 3.2%, and heavily hopped New England style pale ale. Brew Buddies, a single hopped mosaic pale at 4.5%. Green Mild 3.8%, English mild with Kenting hops, Goldings hops rather. Brewmonster Brewery, Olivier Font 4%, Session IPA, pine and grapefruit aromas. Mephisto IPA 5.6%, hints of spice and floral aroma. Brewhouse and Kitchen in Nottingham, on Trent Bridge. Bolero 5.5%, balanced yeast flavour apparently. Constable Reserve on reserve 3.6%, session bitter, crystal malt. Nightlight 4.5%, this is a vegan offering. Roasty porter, chocolate sweetness, balanced hoppiness. Racer 4.5%, another vegan. Tropical IPA, mango aromas. Street Block 4.7%, red rye ale, bitter finish, spicy aromatic hops. Talladega, a vegan offering, 4.8%, American pale ale, fruity, citrus and refreshing. From the Brewshed Brewery, American Blonde 5.5%, IPA, citrus hops. Pale ale, that on reserve they've got pale ale 3.9%, just pale ale. From the Brewsmith Brewery, Gold 4.2%, golden ale, spicy green tea and blackcurrant flavours. Oatmeal Stout. It's about the fourth of them I've seen. 5.2%, basically what it says. From the Brighton Beer Brewery. West Pierre Pale, 4%. English Pale Ale, and with several different US hops. Brinkburn Street Brewery. Geordie Pagoda, 4.8%. Pale Ale. From Britbrew. Bell End Bitter. 4.4%. Yeah. I used to drink Bell End Bitter. Working Mons Mild at 5%. Dark Ruby Strong Mild Dry Malt. From the Broccoli Brewery. American ABA. It's an American brown ale, 4.5%. That's on reserve, and they've got a golden ale, which is, as it says on the tin, 3.8%. From the Brotherhood Brewery, American Red, 4.8%, red ale. Double hopped IPA on reserve, 4.3% is what it is. And same again, dry hopped ale, 4%, exactly what it says. From the Buckland Brewery, Festival, 4.5%, hoppy pale ale. It's got Raven, 5.7%. Imperial Stout, both vegan offerings. And the last one, well, on this video at least, Burton Bridge Brewery. They've got on reserve Burton Ale, 4.8%, and then they've got XL Mild at 4%, a mild ale. We're in 20 minutes, 1 minute long now. I'm up to 128 beers. It's going to be a long night because there's loads to go. That's it for this video. Watch the next one. Cheers.